Hello, YouTube! Welcome back to our Let's Play of Factorio. Trying to just finish off the vanilla game as much as possible because I am really excited for some of the mods I keep seeing, especially on, like, the Reddit and stuff like that. There's so much cool stuff out there nowadays that I am so ready to get into, but I really think I should finish a proper game first on vanilla before I start trying out anything crazy that's out there. Alright? Excuse me while I clear my throat a bit so we can get started today. So, last time we did this. This is a little, I call it like a mall. It's not really a mall in the way that it's used, in the way that that term is used by, you know, the players of this game, but that's what I'm going to call it, where basically it accepts the raw inputs that it needs, makes all of its internal intermediate components on the spot, and then uses them to build out to the final product, and then ships the final product out. That's why I call it a mall, because everything is sort of done right here. Right? So what does that mean? That means that we've now got red and green science. They're both done. They're both being ported over here, and they are going. And we can make a lot more labs to get this research ticking away a lot faster, but for now, I don't think that's inherently necessary. Instead, for the next step, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to pull up... hold on just a moment here. I'm going to pull up, yeah, the crafting menu. That's what I was trying to find. See, I go a few days sometimes between these recordings, and that means that I don't always remember every control in the moment. So the first thing I want to think about is power, right? Power, we are producing, we're satisfying everything. We can actually increase by, like, you know, half again is what we have, and we'll actually, before we're actually filling everything out. So that will not be something we have to worry about right now, although once we do have to start thinking about increasing power, it'll be a serious conversation to have. But for now, I think what we really need to be looking at as we sort of scan along here is, I think, getting up some radars and some gun turrets, and I think I'm actually going to make a magazine, a like, you know, a magazine and gun turret sort of production area. We're not going to make a ton of them, but we're going to make enough to get us started, because obviously in the last couple episodes we had some biter problems, and I don't want any more biter problems. I want the biters to be gone. So how are we going to do that? Well, we're already pulling off a whole bunch of iron here, but I don't really want to tap into that because that's going to be sort of balanced for this. So obviously these just need iron plates. So what I'm going to actually do is, I think, possibly out of the red circuitry, although eventually this is going to be its own sort of thing. So I think I'm going to actually extend our run out here, and I think this is what we're going to do. We're going to extend this out. We're going to take out some trees, and what we're going to do here is, after I sort of break out some of these trees, we are going to set up a little area that's just making these regular bullets. Now, I say these regular bullets because I'm already aware of the fact that, you know, there are advanced bullets, higher level bullets and stuff like that that can be created later on. So we're going to go ahead and do just this to start out with. So give me just a minute. I'll clear this out and get our bullets being created. Let's go. All right, real quick, we're back here. Landfill finished a little bit ago, so we're going to go ahead and pick our next bit of tech to go down. I'm actually going to grab steel processing because the next thing we're going to set up is the steel processing. So we're going to take our iron and build it into steel. So we're going to get that started just like that. And give me a minute. I'm going to keep tearing down these trees. All right, welcome back, guys. So, obviously steel processing finished a while into that, so I haven't touched that in a while, but give me a minute and we'll touch that in just a second. In the meantime, I've got this, you know, a couple of assembly machines started making the guns that are the ammo that I want. The ammo is being loaded into this chest, which will only load up to these first couple of spots, because I don't really need a ton of ammo in reserve. Mostly what this is for is it's just going to be something for me to quickly grab a bunch of ammo should I need it at a moment's notice. In addition, You'll notice I cleared out a whole bunch of the trees in the area. We're obviously going to have to keep tearing this stuff down, and I made a chest to sort of hold the ammo in. So that's kind of where we're at right now. I also went over here and I took some of the inserters that were waiting for me over here. I think what's happening is that this side here, this left side, which is now the bottom side of this one, is being grabbed from first to fill these, and as a result, the left side is being filled out, and since these guys always deposit on the opposite side of the belt from where they are, these four right here are being used more to create the science than these four over here are. So you can actually see that because this is being split halfway, there's actually almost not quite enough to service this whole side. So I'm not sure what to do about that. I mean, the obvious thing would be to, tear this all out and make it so that I'm making two assembly machines are working, making these guys, but it's not a big deal right now. Anyway, steel processing is finished. We're going to move on. Steel processing opened up a lot of things, obviously, down here, all of which are really cool and stuff we might want to take a look at. In fact, the first thing I'm going to look at is military 2. And there is a good reason why we're going to do this, but we're going to just grab this real quick. That's going to be the first thing we do. Military 2, advanced military stuff is the first thing we're going to do. In the meantime, this is good. We've made some of this. The next thing I want is I do want a thing making gun turrets. I want something that's going to make... actually, you know what? Before we say that, I'm going to pause the game. We're going to go into tech here because this thing is going to unlock. This is the next science. This is military science. This is going to unlock after we clear military 2. As you see, just in those few seconds of me humming and hawing around deciding what to do next, it's already gone up to 25%. So this is going to be available in almost no time. What it's going to do is it's going to allow us to make military science packs, which, as you can see as we scroll down, some things are going to need military science. Actually, nothing that's... Well, some of these like really high level ones are specifically requesting it, but if I were to click on physical damage projectile 2, you see that like the level 3, the level 4, and all of the higher levels of this require some military science packs. So we do want to, facilitate making these science packs. And there will also be some other things down the road, rocketry and other such things, explosives and mods for my own armor and personal weapons and stuff like that. These are all going to require military science, so we're going to need to go into that eventually. And you'll see that military science requires piercing rounds, which are the advanced ammunition. They need grenades, and they need walls. None of these three things we are currently producing in mass, so we'll need to start making them. In fact, the piercing rounds and the grenades are only available once we've set this up. And you can see from here that these actually require steel plates and firearm magazines. So since we are making firearm magazines currently right here, but we are going to need steel. So steel is its own thing. We're actually gonna, I did say that the next thing I was gonna do is make a thing that makes gun turrets, but that's not going to be the case. I'm going to pivot off, and instead we're going to make steel. So what is steel production? How do you make steel? You actually make it at the stone furnace, just like you would make, just like you're making iron from the iron ore, except you actually have to put the plates themselves into it in order to make the steel that you need. So how are we going to do that? Well, that is going to require us to find a space, and I'm thinking I'm going to do it on the top side of the bus this time, because I've got plenty of space out here. So here's what I'm going to do. First I'm going to make a couple splitters. And I guess since I am using a bunch of them, I might as well take some... Where is my guy that's producing? Ah, here it is. We'll take a couple of these. Military 2 just finished. We'll get to that in a second. The first thing I want to do, though, is I want to get these splitters done. We're obviously making this stuff in hand again. That's not ideal, but it's not super terrible. By the way, this map shows me a lot of useful things. One of the things that I can grab is the pollution coverage. You can actually see that our pollution, because all of our stuff, all this coal that we're burning, is spitting out a bunch of nasty stuff into the air. It is over this little base of biters, and they will start sending things over to us soon. So actually, what I'm going to do first, before I do anything else, I'm going to take these gun turrets, which are still in my inventory from the last fight, and I'm going to just run. I'm not going to clear the base. Instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the most likely spot that they're going to come in, which is going to be something like here. And I'm going to put one down here. I'm going to put one down here. We're going to just give us a few spaces between them. And you'll see I don't have any bullets in my inventory currently, so I'm going to zoom out. And this is the benefit of the fill, or of the long reach mod, is that I don't have to go all the way over to it. I can just grab these right out of my inventory and go here and like put 15 in or so into each one of these guys. There you go, and equip the rest on me. There we go. Now, if this little tiny group here decides it gets too big for its britches and starts streaming up towards us, we'll catch them here. And we'll get a warning saying that we're in combat, and I'll be able to make some decisions going forward from there. So that's, you know, those guys are just, they're set up and ready to go. So now we have those splitters I was talking about done, so we're going to go ahead and zoom back in here. And I'd say right about here, I want to pop. We're going to tear down some of these copper plate segments. We're gonna go up with this. We're gonna take this, we're gonna pass this underground here, like so. Connect everything together. And this is gonna be steel. Now, again, steel's gonna be a little weird, because it's only ever gonna get as much like iron as we already have plates, right? So it's not like a raw material. This is in the middle of our production chain is going to be this steel. And that's going to be a little bit weird. You know, I don't really, there is no sort of two ways about it. And when I say weird, what I mean is that, like, because it's in the middle of the production chain, like if I start running low on plates, I know that all I got to do is increase production of plates. And if I start running out of ore, I just need to put down more miners, right? But in this case, like, balancing the amount of coal or of steel that you need versus what you can actually produce is actually a little bit challenging. What I'm going to do here is, in order to make sure that I can do the things that I need to do, I am going to take these, and I'm going to start, like, supporting my coal production here. I'm going to like increase my amount of coal that I am producing. And you see, again, making these things in my hand, not efficient, takes me a while. Each step along the way is, you know, precious seconds off the clock, but it is what it is. It's the best I can do. And I'm actually going to like get real tight in here, I think. Because of reasons, because I just want to make sure that I officially fill out as much of this as possible. And now, because there's more coal that's going to be coming on along this way, this is only going to the power, so this is actually going to be our coal. This is where the coal is going to come from in order to go to our, not that one, the splitter. This is where the coal is going to come from in order to go to our smelting operation down here. So it's going to look very similar to the smelting operations we have up in the other locations. It's going to be fed by iron, and it's going to be fed by coal. It's going to go out that way, that's going to go out that way. The coal is going to have to come in. We've got to start lining this up. So our straight line, whoops, I hit the wrong button, is going to come like up through like here, I think. Except it's going to go back around to the... let's see. Yeah, I think this should go the other way. I think this should come down instead. I think I need one more space there. And unfortunately, another thing about this is that, now you see, I'm like prototyping in my head here, and I think this, you know, is something that you guys might want to see. But So I'm not, you know, I'm humming and hawing, and you're sort of seeing my decision-making process. One of the things is that this bus of copper is going to eventually be like way bigger. So like I'm gonna put this like up here. But then again, I also need to put in space for like, you know, 8 of these guys each. So like 2, 3, and of course we're gonna run into our power stations up here. 7. Let's just do 7 for now, especially because I don't have an infinite number of these in my inventory right now. 3, 1, 2, 3. But we will leave all the necessary space, of course. And we're going to start again producing. See, this is another. I do have to run all the way over here in order to pick up the inserters. And I guess I'm picking up a bunch of stuff, not just the inserters. So. And these require these. Yes, these are faster to make because I already have some. So we're actually going to put in. We're going to try making at least some of these out of fast inserters. And so that you can sort of see the difference between fast inserters and normal inserters. So now we go ahead and we run this up the line this way. And we will go ahead and run this up the line this way. Except, you know what? We're not actually going to run it all the way because we're not going to use all these. No need to actually have them out here wasting space and time and effort, stuff like that. So we're going to go ahead and back this off at least once, maybe twice. And we're going to put in our splitter both ways. We go, this one goes this way, this one goes this way. And up to connect. And up to connect. Okay. Fast inserters. We're going to go 1, 2, 1. And our middle line, which is actually going to go down. Again, one more space, I believe, is needed there. I think this is going to be fine. I don't see any reason why it wouldn't be. There we are. And I think I honestly might just turn this right now and just send it along. Although I'm going to run into trouble here. I need to start making these, this landfill, which I will make in a second. I did create the need for it, but that's another thing that's going to be automated in a second. So you see, like, I'm going to, you know, I'm already several layers deep in stuff that I should be doing. And that I have not actually done yet, so. Here, there, there. Will you come through this way? Yeah, you'll come through from here. Yeah, let's do that, and then we can, like, connect there. And where's my likely connection point? I think my most likely connection point is this way. Let's just go this way. Am I going to be able to connect to these guys across? Ah, I'm off by 1. That's very frustrating. We'll just put 2 of these next to each other. Force the connection. All right, and these guys are now making steel. All right. And you can see the, like, fast inserters are going. And it's filling up and unloading as fast as it can go. I actually don't think I need fast inserters here. The more I'm looking at it, I really don't think I need fast inserters here. These guys will operate just fine at normal inserter speed. Okay. So there's steel. It's being made. It's now on the bus. All right, so there's a bus of steel. Steel, while technically a intermediate component, does need a system. It does need extra. Because it needs coal and stuff like that, because it needs to be serviced by these guys and isn't just a function of electricity, it is much easier to belt it and put it on rather than, like, you know, just make it everywhere that you need steel, right? So we're going to put steel on the belt, and steel's going to, or on the bus, and it's going to be one of the basic materials that our malls take in if they're a mall that needs it. So what are we doing now? We're going to do military science, right? So I'm going to go into military science. We're going to start unlocking that. But again, what we need is piercing rounds magazine, grenade, and a wall. So if I go to start the research for this, and then I go into build. Let's see. Piercing rounds magazine is here. It needs 5 copper plates, 1 steel plate, and a firearm magazine. So, to the surprise of what should be no one, this is actually not just going to be a spot that just makes firearm magazines. This is going to be a spot, in fact, I'm going to go ahead and remove this right now. Because to what should be nobody's great surprise, this is actually going to be the beginning of the mall that will be creating our science packs, our military science packs, right? So I'm gonna clear out a few more trees. I'm actually gonna need to clear out a lot more trees, so we'll do that. But clearing out trees is actually gonna get a little easier because now we actually have access to these things. Grenades. They need coal and they need iron plates. And they take 8 seconds each to craft. So while I can craft a bunch of them in my hand, and I will produce a few of them in my hand here just to showcase, I do not want to do that in the long term. I'm going to grab a whole bunch of these here, and I'm going to create like 6 grenades in my hand. This goes so slowly. I want to be making these, and I might as well actually do that here. I've realized now that I might as well just do that here, because I have coal and, well, no. And here's why. Because that means I would need to bus it over to the mall here. Instead, what we're going to do is we're actually going to have to send some coal this way. So that means it's going to actually have to be on the bus, but only for a small period of time. I'm only going to bus it from its production over to here. It's not ideal, but it is what we're going to have to do. Also, another thing we're going to do is I'm going to make a bunch of these radars just right in my hand. And the reason I'm going to do that is because simply because I want to start plunking down these radars. This map actually goes out like forever. I can only see this little bit of it. And you can see I ran over here, and so that exposed some of the map over here. Radars help me like expose more and more and more of the map. These are not the only resources we're going to ever have access to, right? This copper ore, this coal, this iron, this stone. This is not all we're ever going to have access to. We're going to be able to get more patches. In fact, there's already a stone patch visible down here. But they're going to be way out here in places, so the radar is going to help me find them. Okay, the military science pack did finish, and we'll take a look at that in a second. And the first thing I want to do is I want to show you why these grenades are cool, because these grenades annihilate your... Ooh, except they do so inefficiently. Okay. That's right, you can get grenade damage. Actually, I think that's what I'm going to do next. Where's grenade damage? Where's explosives damage? There we go. I forgot about explosives damage as a concept. There we go. And I guess this is a big rock, so we'll cut that out of the ground. Oh, I hurt myself. There we go. And you can see I hurt some of my own stuff, and there's all my 6 guys, but you know, my health will regenerate over time. The health of these don't really matter. They're not less efficient because they're damaged. And we're going to be replacing some of these stuff with faster belts eventually anyway, so. I just wanted to show off why the grenades are so cool. They can take out big chunks of trees. Once I get stronger explosives, a couple levels of it, we'll be blowing up trees. You know, the trees will die in 1 hit instead of taking 2, and it'll just be an extremely efficient way to clear things out. But I'm getting so far ahead of myself because before we can even do any of that, I'm going to need to bus over steel and coal, which means I got to get rid of this now. There's like so many things that we have to do that are nested in between. So this is just raw stone. This just asks for raw stone. So that's going to be really easy to automate. Again, why do anything in your hand when you can automate it? Well, I've been not automating a lot of things in this game, so, you know, obviously that's not a literal statement, but it is still the case that if you have the ability to automate something easily, why wouldn't you? So I'm going to start by plunking down a few of these drills. There we go. 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to put another one, like, say, here. And you know what? Let's just go up 2. Let's fill this. Let's fill this area. Oh, actually, I have to go all the way up to here. So let's actually... This can be more efficient. This can fill this space a little more efficiently. And then this can... Well, it's a little unfortunate. The next one will have to be closer up on this than I would like it to be, I think. Yeah, I don't know. It's fine. It's not a huge deal. And what we're going to do is I'm going to take these and I'm going to, like, send them up and out this way for now. And we're going to go ahead and supply these things with power. And now we're making that. And I can just plunk down an assembly machine right here with a fast inserter, supplying it. Regular inserter coming out of it, and that regular inserter is going to stick it into a chest, and you are making just landfill. Now, how fast do you make landfill? 0.5 seconds. You actually are going to need... We're going to do a weird thing. We're going to go with a second fast inserter. I want you to fill... Yeah, you could even take a third, or even a fourth, maybe. Yeah. It's a bit unfortunate. It actually, yeah, it fills very slowly. How do I put a third one on you? That'll have to change the way I do... Well, I won't have to change anything, really, I guess. I just have to put an extra power supply where I don't want to. There you go. Yeah, you're still not filling as fast as... And honestly, you filling up... Well, let's just... Yeah, let's only do... sections there. I could honestly go with even more production. This isn't even filling that. Well, let's do more production. Give me a minute, guys. I'm gonna like put down, I'm gonna try and actually fill this entire space with miners and actually like efficiently mine every node here. That's not gonna be easy because, like I said, my same problems that I had when I was trying to put these guys together. I'm gonna have the similar problem as I sort of trace out the edge here, but that's what we're gonna try and do, all right? And I'll be right back. All right, welcome back. As you can see, I have done my best to fill as efficiently as possible, but there is like a section right here which is not being visited by like, there's like a couple of patches here which are not being visited by any of these. Why is that? I just could not, and there's a couple down here as well. I really just couldn't fill the space as efficiently as I would have liked, because the more, if I move this down even one more spot, or back even one more spot, it would hit this corner, which has actually iron under this transport belt. There's iron down here. And it would start pulling iron, which means I would have iron on this line, and, you know, one or two pieces of iron, not a problem. It would just keep grabbing the stone around the iron. But if it ever got to the point that the iron, like, you know, one piece of iron's here, and then they take stuff, so the iron moves up, and then the next piece of iron comes up, and it stops here, but they take all the stone, so it moves up and up and up, and then they don't take it, and so the next piece of iron is here. Eventually, that will pack this whole area full, and this guy won't be able to get any of the stone that he needs in order to do his job. That's a huge problem, and one that, you know, you don't ever want, so you don't want to start accidentally contaminating your belts with the wrong material. And that's what I'm trying to avoid here. So, in order to do my best to avoid that exact sort of thing happening, I sometimes have to be just a slight bit inefficient. And of course, I'll be able to fix this when eventually most of this is mined out, and as I pull these guys up, the last few spots I'll be able to just plunk like right down on top of it. We'll be able to get it 100% mined out. It just, you know, I'll have to deal with a little bit of inefficiency in the meantime. Well, now what's happened is that we have all of this stone coming up here, and it's going to this assembly machine, which is making landfill. And I'm actually going to grab the 84 landfill that's already in there, and I'm going to come over here. I'm going to grab this. I'm going to say, there it is, landfill. And we now have 85 landfill in our inventory. So all this song and dance, this whole rigmarole, that's just been to get a little bit of landfill, just so that we can then get some of this coal and some of this steel over where we're trying to get it to. You see what's happening to my life? So let's go ahead and start filling in the space here. You don't have to worry about like efficiency of where you're clicking, because each time you click, it checks the 4x4 area that your cursor is over, and it only plops down the correct amount of landfill to fill the area. Now you see that was 84 landfill, and it didn't even fill that tiny little pond all the way. That's the problem. So now I want to go with the stronger explosives too, but that actually requires the military tech, which is, again, the grand daddy that we're moving towards here. I've got about 80 indeterminate steps in between now and then, so we're going to have to just ignore stronger explosives too, at least for a little while. In the meantime, let's take care of some of these other ones. Let's go all the way back to heavy armor. Start with that one, and let's go. Heavy armor is going to let me craft steel armor for myself, which will help me when I do engage the biters. I actually see what it looks like on the map. Yeah, there's like a biter army that's starting to form over here, and that's terrifying me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run over, and we're going to have to make some guns. I have not put guns on any sort of official... Yeah, I need iron for that. I have not started manufacturing guns yet, which I did say that I wanted to do. Oh, by the way, we're going to plop down some of these. These things really piss off the biters, so you want to put them in places you're already going to be putting defenses, or at least near places that are already going to be generating defenses. I like to just put them right in the core of the base, because they'll have to start destroying a lot of other things to get there anyway. There we go. Radars are down. The radars will start filling this area. You'll start to see these little like areas pop out, and you know we'll get information on what's around them. I have created a couple of guns now, and I'm going to start putting them around this area here. Before I do that, I'm actually going to take this out of there so that it's in my inventory, because if it's in my inventory, that means it'll automatically be placed into the thing like that. There we go. Now that's only a few guns. It's not going to last forever, but it is what it is. We've got a couple of defenses up now on the south side. South side's the only place that we have... Ah, see, here it is. We're starting to get information. No revealed patches yet, but we're going to get there. Yeah, these guys, the pollution has moved over their base, and they're going to be very unhappy with us. They're going to start sending attack waves at any moment. In fact, I think, yeah, I'm already seeing movement on the map. So they're going to start sending attack waves at any moment, so we just got to be ready for that. Really, at some point, we're going to want to... Excuse me, hold on, I have to clear my throat for a second. Sorry about that. At some point we're going to have to like mass produce guns, but at this point we're just trying to get military tech science up and running, and that's going to take a little bit longer, so just give me a minute on that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom out, I'm going to look back at my operation over here that's creating landfill. We're going to grab the landfill out of the box, and we're going to go back up here, and we're going to keep filling this in. There we go. Again, you don't have to be efficient about where you're plopping these things down. It will always just use what is needed to fill the area. You just might have to click a few more times if you're not being efficient. So there it is. There it is. Both of those areas are now full up. I'm going to keep letting that produce landfill, although I think I might only have it produce one section of landfill, one square landfill instead of two. Okay, so now I can take this and I can start running it across. And likewise for coal, because I'm gonna have to bring some coal over. The question for now is going to be, do I want to like make a whole like discrete supply of coal, or do I want to tear this coal supply off of, for instance, this supply? That will really start to like burden this supply quite heavily. And like I said, I do generally like sort of discrete uses. So what I think I'm going to do is I am going to, so give me a minute. Oh, heavy armor just finished, so I'm actually gonna... Do I have the means to make one of these yet? No, I need 50 plates. Holy hell. Or 50 steel. Holy hell. Let's actually do that real quick, just so that I can sort of show you guys what's up here. Now, unfortunately, while I can access any container at will, I have to, in order to grab these things raw off the ground, I do have to run directly over them, so I can't... oh, that was almost 150, so yeah, we'll make the armor. See, there's like an armor slot right here. Oh, I could have made light armor earlier, by the way, which I never did, I guess. I guess I never really thought about it. And there we go, I made it, it's on. So now I'm wearing heavy armor. I'm much more effectively protected against the biters now. So what's going to happen now is I'm going to make this area of copper, or of coal. I'm going to make this patch of coal into 3 discrete service lines. One line is going to be going north to make the copper production happen. One of it's going to go south to make the iron production happen, and one of them's going to start filing along this for what I'm going to call sort of miscellaneous, right? Making steel, providing support for the power generation, as well as going straight to making grenades, right? So these are going to be 3 discrete areas of production, okay? So let me do that, and I'll get right back with you, and then we'll probably finish out this episode real soon after that, all right? See you on the other side. Let's go. All right, guys, and we're back. So, again, you can see I did pretty much what I said I was going to do. I split this into 3 distinct routes. This group of miners is supplying the iron foundry. This group is going to be supplying the steel foundry and the power supply and all of the military industry stuff eventually. And this one is supplying copper foundry. Also, heavy armor finished before we started that, and I haven't been doing anything during that, so we're going to go ahead and check on what we can build out here. I'm going to grab the steel axe, even though it just increases my character's mining speed by 100%, but we shouldn't ever be mining anything by hand anymore anyway, but we're going to do it just to get it off the tech tree, because I'm that kind of person. Let's just get it off of the tech tree, shall we? Okay. It doesn't even lead to anything else. It's a weird remnant of the past. Ooh, uranium! 4 million strong deposit of uranium available over here. That's good for later part of the game. Obviously, we have no use of uranium yet, but it's nice to know that it's there. And over by the coast as well, we can set up our own, like, independent uranium foundry over there with a lot of water access and stuff like that. Very nice spot for that. This has been a pretty banging seed to begin with. Banging seed. Ooh, you know what? I don't like the fact that I said that. You know, we're gonna scratch that off the record. I'll tell my editor to, you know, because clearly I have an editor, to do that. No, we're not gonna do that. But anyway, let's see. Yeah, I still need 2 to kill. I still need 2 shots to bring down trees, unfortunately. But you'll notice that as I was sort of working on all of that, I was picking up a whole lot of coal, so I decided to make a whole bunch of grenades. So we're clearing out this area. I just don't want to, like, destroy my own infrastructure on accident, but, like, not really a huge deal. There is actually an item you can make, this thing. It's a repair pack. If I grab, like, some iron off the wall here, I could make a couple of them. And if I like, I don't know, pop one here or something. There we go. Now I can use this and I can like repair all the damage I've done. There we go. Might as well do that while I'm standing here. Blow up a few more trees. No real reason to do it, especially way down here, but, you know, over here there is a reason, because I'm going to have to continue the bus going over this way. One thing that I have not yet found on this seed, I did just say this has been a pretty banging seed and that I'm pretty happy about it. Well, I implied I was pretty happy about it. But I have to say, one thing that's not on the map yet is oil, crude oil. Crude oil comes in patches that you can put your derricks on top of, and the derricks pull the liquid crude oil out of the ground. But I have none of it. None of it has appeared here. So, you know, we got a big 4 million pack of ore. I guess that's not really big, but it's big enough for, you know, a good chunk of the game. But no, and then a secondary, you know, stone patch down here, but no oil. That could be a little terrifying. But that being said, I'm gonna head out for the day. Thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you've been enjoying the series so far. Let me know what you've been thinking down in the comments. I know I'm doing a little bit of a weird combination of like spaghetti and real good sort of, you know, with like play with the bus and stuff like that, but I've also been, you know, like I've clearly been making some amateur mistakes. I haven't been really paying attention to the long term of the base, but I kind of have at the other same time. I know it's a little bit weird. It might be a little frustrating to watch, but I hope you guys have been enjoying anyway. My name is Tanis Fugit. Thank you for stopping by the Fugitive Theater, and I'll see you guys next time. Ochitanis. Bye-bye.